Okay, everyone, come in on this Saturday, October the 21st. Excuse me, hit that like and hit the share button as have a howl in my mouth. So hopefully I can make it through this live stream right. But you all come in, hit the like and share button. There's so many things I could have live streamed on. For one, as it relates to the economy, number one, it could have been on the CFPB, the the argument of a small business loans, and now how the questions of small business loans from the Senate is being asked of from people, or how they can ask questions like about your sexuality, are you gay, personal questions now to get approved for small business loan. I could have went over that and showed you all the clip. I still might do that, right? I still might show you all the clip because small business loans are the backbone. Small businesses, small banks are the backbone of this country, of the United States dollar, right? I could have went into this one. I thought about live streaming on this topic, but when I saw the mass amount of money being pulled out of the major banks, I decided to go with that topic. So you all come in again, hit like and hit share. I could have went with BRICS, right? I could have went with the BRICS nation and how BRICS is dumping another billion with a B. And speaking of billion, we also have 84 billion five. I don't even know how to say that large number. I'm just gonna say 84 billion. 84.5 billion dollars leaving the four major banks. And number four again relates to what's happening in this economy, what's happening in this world. As I'm not sure if you all know, but it was exactly during 1944, right? 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement was made. And how many countries was 1944? The Bretton Woods Agreement was made, and I think it was 44 countries under the Bretton Woods Agreement that came in. That's what's made the United States dollar the world reserve currency and made it a strong dollar, being accepted for other countries, commodities and rich commodities. And this is where we are headed as we're headed to a new economic system. Now, let me read this real quick. Hello, Queen. I was watching college football and I saw your video title pop up. I was like, it's time to tap in and cut the games out. You know what? I too was watching college football. To be honest with you, I love football. I went back to the book of Fake, of Robert Kiyosaki. I saw what was going on, and I'm like, you know what? I have to hit this live stream button because this book predicts it all, right? This book predicts it all, and it tells it all. It tells that China and these other countries were going to dump the United States dollar, as China and Japan are dumping the United States dollar. While they are dumping it, they are buying real gold, right? Because gold is real money. I have to take you back on the history lesson, 1971, when President Nixon removed cash dollars, cash money, fiat money, also known as fake money, from being converted to gold. And what makes that crucial to understand? Yes, 44 states. I break this down by the. They always do things in numbers, right? 1944 is not states. I'm sorry, 44 countries to be exact. In 1944, brought in the Bretton Woods Agreement, which made the United States dollar the global reserve dollar. And why this is important, because the US dollar and other countries was pegged to the dollar's value. This ended in 1971 when Tricky Dick Nixon said that the United States would no longer exchange gold for US currency. And this is the financial education that people must have, not a scholastic education, right? The financial education that you need so that you can understand what's going on right now at this time of the world where the greatest wealth transfer is ever being made, so that you can be on the prosperity end of that equation, not the poverty end. So 730 delegates representing 44 countries met in Bretton Woods, 1944. We see the double 44. I want you to think about Jay-Z 444 album. I want you to think about Elon Musk and his connection to the numbers 444 as well. And it was creating a foreign exchange system, right? And that the Bretton Woods did two things. It created the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. Now, in 1970, the Bretton Woods system did dissolve, right? It went out when Nixon stopped cash from being converted into real money, God's money, gold, right? Which is one letter, four letters, and one letter, L, short of God. And so Nixon knew that when the Bretton Woods dissolved in 1970, that we need to stop. When I say we, the United States, needs to stop allowing other countries, because now we had Japan and we had Volkswagen and we had other countries like France that were importing their commodities, whether it was the for France, with their wine and cheese and things of that nature, their commodities into the United States, and it made the United States now an importing country, leading and importing or the exporting of other commodities. And I'm gonna say this in layman's term: what it did was it made the United States source out low cost labor from other countries, right? And we were not producers of anything anymore. We were not manufacturing anything anymore. We were not exporting anything, right? The most we had was Ford, Chevrolet, and right now the UAW is setting up workers right now, so they will lose their jobs. And Ford and Chevrolet will cease. And now you're going to have artificial intelligence and AI that's going to replace the jobs of those people and that technology. And the UAW is really the spokesperson, the lead person, where they are seem like they're telling the people that are workers there that we have your best interest in mind, when they don't, right? They are in collaboration to bring in this new world order, to bring in artificial intelligence, to produce in mass productions at a very cheap and expensive rate vehicles. And this is the only thing. This is why during Trump's campaign, he was, I guess, adamant about saying we have to make America great again because we're not exporting anything. And guess what? And when we're not exporting anything, countries do not want our dollars. Countries saying we want the real gold, we want the real commodity. If we're giving you our wine and cheese and oil and our manufacturing through Volkswagen and you know, all of these exporting, they were like, why we are the ones that's making you all great, America great. Why should we accept your currency? And at the rate that they saw the United States printing the currency, they knew, right, supply and demand. They said, you know what, you all are printing more cash dollars, which is going to make it worth less and less. The more you put out in circulation, the more through PPP loans, the more through stimulus, the more welfare money, which was created to give reparations to blacks and reward women for having many children, right? The welfare system is a reward system to women, for single parents, single women, to have more children. So in 1994, the US dollars became the reserve currency. Listen, the elites speak to you in numbers and in codes, right? They speak to you in numbers and in codes. 44 countries, 1944, Bretton Woods, and United States broke that agreement in 1944 and 1971 through President Nixon, and America will have to start producing better products, and America did not start doing it. That's called capitalism. And because we did not produce better products, gold, real money, which I've been educating you all, began to leave the United States because other countries were bringing in their production, and they will convert the United States dollars that they were getting paid in back into the real money. And gold was leaving the United States, and they was like, we got to do something about this. Because when you start paying for Volkswagens and Toyotas and cash is only an IOU from the American taxpayer. It's a promise to pay the real money, gold and silver. And so they began to get more IOUs from American taxpayers, right? And the United States began paying for, Volkswagen, again, Toyotas, IOUs. And then these other countries will come back and say, okay, now we're going to convert the dollar into gold, right? We want the real money, and gold started flowing out of the United States. And now these countries are dumping U.S. treasuries and bond and buying that gold again. And now mass amount of money is leaving the four major banks. See, up to this point, there were about 20 major banks in 1971. Now it's only four. We're going to go into that. So China is dumping another 22 billion in U.S. Treasury and stock market. So I want you to question yourself if you are dependent on a pension or a 401k, which most middle class people do, right? Unfortunately, they feel like the 401k is their savings plan. And that's sad. They feel like a 401k, they do not take matters in their own hand. In fact, in Capital, if you in Texas, if you can tell by my southern accent, I am from the South. And in Texas, it's a saying that says all hat and no cattle, right? And so today, when people talk about the gap between the rich and the poor and everyone else, what they're really talking about is that the middle class, six-figure middle class, and the poor working class do not have collateral. They do not have assets. One reason why so many poor middle class people are poor because they do not have any collateral. There will be like a rancher going to the bank to borrow money without any cattle to use as collateral. The world is full of people who are all hat and no cattle. They may live in the big houses, they drive nice cars. This is what's called the upper middle class, right? Their kids go to private school, but they have no collateral. And so a banker cannot loan them money for the house and the cars, right? And they may issue them credit cards, however, or a banker will loan them money for a house and a car and issue them credit cards. This is called consumer credit, but not credit to invest. They won't give you credit to invest because you don't have assets, you don't have collateral. They will give you money to buy a house, they'll give you money to buy a vehicle, they'll give you money for a credit card, but they won't give you money to invest. And having real collateral, real money, real assets, then that's when you have real security. And so people, when you save money in the bank, your money is printing money. I want you all to understand it. When you save money in the bank, your money is printing money. The bank pays you interest, very little interest now. You may get, if you're lucky, maybe 2%, if you're lucky. So as a result, you're getting money for money. And the interest on your savings is your money printing money. The difference is when you use your credit card, you are printing money for the bank. Money you have to pay back and likely pay interest in some type. So whose money is more valuable if that's the scenario, if that's the case? Whose money is more valuable? let's say you save $1,000 in your savings account and the bank pays you 2% interest, right? If you can get that now. And you charge $1,000 on your credit card, then the bank charges you 18% interest. Because you have to remember, since 1971, the entire world system has been running off of this fake money being printed, right? And so when you save money and you don't use that fake money that's putting out in the population to gain more interest in real world collateral and assets, you are losing. And our real world assets and commodity right now is cryptocurrency, in a sense. Now, this is why I don't tell the upper middle class, and that's categorized as six-figure income earners, or the poor working middle class, if you are earning 5 figures a year, right, gross, and hopefully that's after taxes, not before taxes, to invest in gold, because gold is, and to be honest, so is silver. It is an insurance. It is a hedge against inflation. It is where the rich and wealthy people put cash, because cash has lost 98% of its purchasing power since President Nixon made that move in 1971, where cash was no longer real money anymore. It was just monopoly money that was being printed at will. So now we have $84 billion that in 3 months, three is the number of transfiguration, as Christ or Jesus stayed on the cross for 3 days. It's a transfiguration, right? Christ died at the age of double 33. And then at 33 degrees Fahrenheit, ice is able to be lit into water. So three is the number of transfiguration, that something is transforming, transfigurizing. And 84 billion exit JPMorgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Citigroup. Depositors, people that have a financial education, right, are now exiting the banks. They're now pulling their money because they see what's ahead. They're educated about November the 17th, and that the federal government, it's a high possibility that we'll have a government shutdown within a next couple of days on November the 17th. Also, what you need to know about the 17th is JP Morgan. As we talk about, JP Morgan and Rockefeller were born on the 17th. And the stock market, right, came into birth, or, on May 17th. The stock market began. And let me pull up what year that was. Because, again, numbers prophesy, especially as it relates to the economy, what future moves will be made. And people, this is all I'm telling you. The writing is on the wall. You can. This is another article that popped up. You can take this lightly. That's your choice, or you can heed to education. You can be distracted about what's going on with Will and Jada Smith, as Jada Smith is coming out with a new book. She's going to monetize off of this gossip and about her and Will Smith, right? Not being husband and wife since 2016. And other people are going to be distracted. You could be distracted by Deion Sanders in Colorado, even though I do watch, but I have my priorities in place. So 84.5 billion worth of deposits in a single quarter, people. I told you all to expect at the end of this year black swan events to happen, as we have a tornado now that's headed toward Mexico, and you have the Israel-Hamas war, and Biden asking for over $100 million to fund that war, which is going to be paid back by the American people and taxpayers. And this is why I've been educating you all as well concerning the home-based business deductions, because they have made new rules and new laws and higher taxes for the upper class that's going to be implemented for 2024. So the quarter three earnings for JPMorgan and Chase details 31 billion decrease in deposits. So we have a bank failures are going on at the same time from 2.387 trillion people. Wells Fargo reported a 7.1 billion increase from 1 point, I'm just going to round it up, 35 trillion. Citigroup reported 46.4 billion from 1.32 trillion. And so, people, this is why these bank runs are happening. This is why small businesses and the CFPB is making it now. And I also read an article before I hit the live stream button that President Biden says you can't discriminate against illegal immigrants as it relates to funding and giving them loans and money so they can get the loans and the money that they need to get collateral and get assets and do commerce and business and to invest. In fact, let's look at crypto today. Last I checked, Bitcoin BTC was at 30,000 plus US dollars. However, I do not measure my crypto in dollars. Also, I have been telling you all about Chainlink, which is the Oracle, right? I have my 36-page PDF booklet. The link is on the bottom. Cash in, that's the letter N, to the number 2, crypto.com. That's a 36-page booklet that gives you information and education and insight about your blue chip cryptos, your mid cap, your high cap, your small cap cryptocurrencies. A lot of people know I generally do not go with what the mass majority of people know. I go on the road, let's travel. And so, ISO 200.022 tokens, though, that's good information and good knowledge to know. However, I want you to look at the Oracle and Chainlink because of its connection as well with the SWIFT financial system. And Chainlink so far is up 16.64%. And this is one of the cryptos, other cryptos that I used to believe in, like Harmony One, maybe ADA, EOS. I'm not really talking about those as much because, I'm not sure if they will end up being the performance that we plan for them to be. And also look at Solana. Look at Sol up 11%. And no real big news behind Sol or Solana or what's causing this. And so as we have China dumping 22 billion of US stocks and treasury, you have to ask yourself about the future of your 401k of the stock market that's tied to the 401k. This happened in August. And it was just reported on Wednesday at 21.2 billion. So as we 84 billion leaving the banks, right? 21 billion of US treasuries. This is the dethroning of the United States dollar. This is other countries and BRICS saying we're dumping these treasuries and stocks and wanting to protect their own local currencies. This is their mission. We know the United States is going down. We haven't produced anything. And as I said, we're going to protect our own. And guess what? They're moving into digital because it's more efficient, more effective to do it digitally. Sometimes people ask me, do I think we will return back to the gold standard? And I really don't. However, gold and silver will be used to reset the currency system. And this is why I've been educating the poor working class, right? The 5-figure income earners, that silver is a better financial security for you because it's under $40 an ounce. And it's both an industrial and monetary metal as well. And it's a global shortage on both silver and copper. And it's since 2011, JPMorgan hoarded over 350 million ounces of silver. You all, that's 38% of the world's population. So they sold bonds, U.S. Treasury and stocks worth 123 billion in just this year alone. India is also accused of market intervention by selling the United States dollar to protect the rupee from falling to new lows. Japan is also accused of intervening to keep the yen from ending at new lows against the United States dollar as well. So these other countries are getting out of the dollars. Other people are taking their money out of the banks. The banks runs has already started, and they're not just putting their money under the mattress. People that have millions and decamillionaires are converting it to real money as an insurance hedge, just as you have insurance on your vehicle in case of an accident, that you won't be at a loss. They know the de-dollarization of the United States dollar is happening right now. And it's not, and this is what I explained in my PDF booklet. Bitcoin is powerful because of the blockchain technology behind it. It is the blockchain technology that's globally going to connect these countries, and every country is going to have the power of their digital dollar. Also, or their home currency, I'll say it that way, because they don't want the United States currency. And this has been a long, process of de-dollarization. Does take years, but these countries have been gradually dumping the dollars for those amount of years. So with that being said, I'm closing with this as well. I also want you to visit the website I just put on the screen, milliemoves.com. The average person throws away $600 a month in tax dollars because they do not have a home-based business. This is what I call the smart method of having a home-based business. The S is social media. I recommend a digital-based home-based business where you don't have people coming in and out your home or your personal resident. This also applies to apartment and condos. So you won't be at legal risk if someone falls or hurts or injured themselves. The M is for market focus. A is for automated. You should have things automated. A digital, because we're moving to technology, people. That's what another number fourth industrial revolution is about. Technology and blockchain technology and artificial intelligence. So your home-based business likewise should be technology-based. And the R is for recurring revenue. It's time for you to stop exchanging your time for money. Rich and wealthy people do not do that. They buy back their time because their money is automated. They stop having businesses and money exchanges by them always having to give their time in exchange for it. It's an automated process. And you have to understand the power of recurring revenue. T, again, is technology based. No employees. It uses a remote team. So you'll find all of that at milliemoves.com, the smart method. And with taxes increasing next year on the money that you're already making, that's losing its purchasing power anyway, you need to keep more of the money that you're making. Right? I like Bitcoin, but at $30,000, most people do not have enough fake money, aka cash, to get the bang out of that buck by putting their money in Bitcoin right now. I've been live streaming about Bitcoin since 2018. It was $3,000 at that time. Now it's 30,000. And so, I tell people learn about the blue chip, mid cap, and low cap cryptos in that order, and you will be fine. Because only the cryptocurrencies that are regulated by law in this next bull run, which will begin in 2024, because we have the Bitcoin halving that's scheduled to take place in April of 2024. And normally, when the Bitcoin halving happens, we see gains in the market, goes on the bull run. Excuse me, I have a cold. And so you need to know what cryptos are going to be legalized by law. not by just your, your emotional intelligence. You need financial intelligence in making these moves. That's why I have millionaire moves in the background. So you all take advantage of the greatest wealth transfer that this generation will ever experience. 11:11, Deuteronomy 1 and 11 states, may the Lord, thy God, the God of our ancestors, bless us and increase us 1,000 times more. That's why 11:11 is in the background, and it represents a wealth transfer and also a technology change as well, as it relates to Genesis 11 in the Bible. That's what the Tower of Babel was all about. It was about a technology change. Come on, I need you all to put on your thinking caps. It was about a technology change. They have never seen a tower like this. This was something never seen and heard of in Genesis 11. So the gods, plural, came down and said, hey, we're not ready for this technology shift yet. We're not ready for this. So let us do a global change. And this is what we're going through right now, a global change financially. The God said we need to do a global language mixture. 11:11 represents chaos and confusion, but also a wealth transfer at the same time. Because 9/11, buried underneath the rubble of the Twin Towers, were millions of dollars of God's money, real money, of gold and silver, physical gold and silver. Google it for yourself. I'm not going to pull it up. That's why I say, the silver is for queens, which I am, and the gold is for kings. If you're not a decamillionaire or millionaire, I at $2,000 an ounce, I don't, it's nothing that a couple of ounces of silver would do for you if you only have 10, 20,000 ounces put into it. When you can get a more ROI, return on your cash, from getting crypto, mid cap and low cap cryptos, because Bitcoin right now is definitely a high cap crypto, right? A blue chip crypto as well, where you can get your mid cap, low cap cryptos and your silver and your copper, and stop the inflation of your cash and begin to deflate your cash to prepare for this greatest wealth transfer. Also, I will begin reading more from this book. If you have not purchased it, this is a great read to help you understand the difference between real money and fake money and where we are headed into 2024, as 224 equals to number 8. The number 8 is the upside down infinity sign, as we are transitioning out of the old financial system into a new financial system. Great afternoon to you all as well. Thank you, Sheer, I think, for coming in and saying hello. Also, you all, if you're watching this on the replay, drop your city and state. Let me know what part of the world you are tuning in from and say hello as well. Let's get ready and prepared and position for the greatest wealth transfer that this generation has ever experienced. Queen out.